Earlier this year, we published our annual BOF 500 issue and called it Generation Next. And the issue had cover stars featuring some of the most talented Generation Z and millennial young people on the planet. Like everyone in fashion, we've been obsessed with understanding these new generations. But with this obsession, we've wondered also if we've lost sight of another exploding demographic. According to the National Institute of Aging, the number of people above the age of 65 is set to double to 1.6 billion people by 2050, presenting many opportunities, but also several public health challenges. This is why I'm so excited to welcome our next speaker to the Voices stage. Sarah Thomas is executive in residence at Aging 2.0, a global network connecting innovators taking on the biggest challenges and opportunities in aging, and founded by Stephen Johnston, an old classmate of mine. When Stephen and I were catching up at our reunion this year, we talked about some of the work he had been doing in the aging space, which led me to Sarah and the exciting work that she is doing at the intersection of fashion, robotics, and aging. So please welcome Sarah Thomas.
Thank you. So when I was 6 months old, my mother was holding me, and a stranger came up to her and said, "Oh, good luck with her. She has an old soul." And she didn't quite know what that meant, but the woman went on to explain, she won't quite fit in to anyone her age, and she'll be a challenge to you every time you try to have her fit in to her peer group. So my mother embraced me a little tighter, moved me away from the stranger, and hoped that she wasn't right, but she was right. And I have never felt quite at home in my own peer group, but always with older adults. And so when I was 7 years old, I befriended a man named Sheppy, who is 89 years old, as we sat waiting in an eye doctor's office. We became the best of friends. I would go over his house, we would have tea with him and his wife, Corrine, and learn their life lessons, dream about the future, and we became the best of friends. My grandfather was a cooper, or a barrel maker, and of the 20-plus grandchildren that he had, I was the only one who wanted to learn the trade. So he and I would go on adventures together looking for staves and tools to make a barrel. And when he was 86 years old, I was lucky enough to make a barrel with him, and he passed on his legacy. My great-aunt Blanche, 90 years old, blind, still painted avidly. I would go to her house, we would have brownies for breakfast, and we would sit there telling stories, and I would watch while she was painting what she was creating, even though she couldn't see what she was creating. My friends have always been and continue to be decades older than myself. So when I was asked to speak today, I was also asked, what brought you into aging? And I said, it's really not a career path, it's a life journey. I have an old soul. I was asked today also to speak about the future of aging. And I'm here today to talk to you about the shifting perspective that we need to have as we design for greater aging experiences and we improve aging worldwide. So, there we go. So the older adult has always been the center of my universe and quickly became the center of my life work as well. As an occupational therapist, I learned that person-centered design was very important. And I first designed care plans and designed homes for accessibility and function. I realized quickly if you put the person in the center, it's much more than function. It should be about form. It should be about purpose. And I always felt now that while I'm advising hundreds of startups designing technologies for a better aging experience around the world, or when I'm designing how to innovate at large corporations with the older adult in mind, that we must keep the voice of the older adult at the center of the conversation. So these two women are important to me. On the left, we have June Fisher. She is actually a physician and a design expert who speaks and lectures at Stanford University. She's also our Chief Elder Officer at Aging 2.0. And she provides perspective, both personal and professional, for the many startups at nearly 50 chapters around the world that we have that are solving the greatest challenges in aging. And to the right, we have Barbara Beskin. She is an occupational therapist as well, and she was watching the Today Show when she saw the design firm IDEO speak about designing for aging. And she felt that there was a missing perspective, so at 90 years old, she wrote a letter to them, and she said, I would like to provide the older adult perspective that you're missing. And they hired her, and she continues to help to design with, and not just for, the older adult consumer. But this conversation isn't just about my personal journey or about one or two people. This is a global shift, a global demographic change in the aging population as it ages every day that we experience. As you can see, we're soon approaching a time, first ever, when there will be more older adults than there are children under the age of 5. We have a great opportunity here, both economic and social, but also a big responsibility to design for the older adult and the aging population. So as we look at this economic opportunity, we see companies entering, both large and small, considering the impact that they can make on the aging population. When we look at General Motors, for example, they invested this year $500 million in Lyft, ride-sharing platform. They committed together to bringing autonomous vehicles to this ride-hailing service. And you know, while transportation and on-demand transportation and autonomous vehicles is great for convenience for you and I, imagine a time when someone tells you you cannot drive. And you consider the impact on on-demand transportation for someone to be able to be autonomous and independent, go where they want, when they want, and be able to have some of their freedom back. So this on-demand nature is certainly a hot topic, and in Silicon Valley, we have a little joke that we talk about how millennials are really creating technology to replace mom and the things that she did for them. And if you look, I can drop a pin, and I can have someone drive me around, do my laundry, cook me dinner, pretty much anything mom did for me. And the technology, in essence, is replacing some of those tasks. But think of a time when we're taking technology and innovation, and we're applying this innovation to help those who need it most, who need care and support, many of the mothers and grandmothers in the aging society around us. So this need for care as we age is increasing tremendously. Actually, if you look at the numbers, informal care of older adults provided by family and friends in the United States alone equals $522 billion a year. We have a caregiver crisis, and people who are working, the regular adult who is working, are the ones who are caring for our aging population. And we need to look at ways to design for the caregiver as well. So you look at Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble is one of the largest consumer goods products companies in the world. And they have a team that's working on investing, creating, and acquiring companies specifically for the older adult. P&G's company, Gillette, also just recently targeted the caregiver specifically and very well. So they claim that over the last 100 years, over 4,000 razors have been created and designed for you and I to shave ourselves, but not one has been created for someone to shave another person. And so as we design for caregivers in mind, we're able to look at examples like Gillette and create assisted devices and assistive designs similar to what Gillette has done with their razor. Technology is allowing us to design in ways we've never thought of before. And this company, Unique, I feel so passionately about. They are creating expression and personalization to a world that once had stigma and now has style. They're creating 3D printed, personalized, customized prosthetic covers that really take into consideration the individuals who are wearing them. They're using technology like scanning and applications and mobile applications to allow for fitting and measuring. They're using 3D printing strategies to allow for increased accessibility, affordability, personalized and customized design. This is where we need to be headed. When we're designing for the older adult and the aging experience, there are many brands who only think of function. And Oriens out of London is doing a beautiful job of thinking of form and function. They are a luxury, retirement, community, and concept that is challenging the conventional, traditional care home model. And they're redefining retirement in a way that includes design and inspiration and care and services and innovation. They're including technologies like NASA-derived radar technology that detects and predicts falls, touchpads in the showers that allow for increased accessibility for those who have mobility challenges. Yet they're taking style and form, and they're putting together with function, and they're allowing people to have vintage vitality, as they call it. As people downsize in order to upgrade, we're heightening their experience through fashion and design. And this leads me to why I'm here today. I was invited because I'm leading the strategic partnerships for this company called Seismic. I am so proud of Seismic because here I can talk about where function meets fashion. Tech-enhanced fashion. So we are creating a personal, robotic, wearable suit that has personalized core strength enhanced with the ability to provide increased activity and increased healthy lifestyle. When you think of wearable robotics, we often think of very cumbersome, hardware-intensive technology that are exoskeletons that you see in the movies or in television. While these have great purpose and growing need in the industrial area or the medical space, they are not convenient or affordable for personal consumers. Entered powered clothing. Powered clothing allows for a discrete undergarment to provide support with your own biomechanical movements and allows you to just have the support that you need, sensing as you start to lean and motion forward to stand, the support that you need, and providing it so that you can do so with grace and with dignity. We are at a time when we are combining technology and fashion in not just the muscles that are in Seismic, but the clothing is designed with tiny mobility tracking sensors, as well as the ability to have 3D engineered lit textiles. And we're using onboard computing to have endless opportunities within this form and function. Seismic is not only thinking about the development of the product, but also enhancing the experience through innovation. And their in-store retail experience is being designed with high-end technology to allow for high touch and high tech to meet personalization, with the hopes of creating a greater awareness of the brand identity and also a connected experience in the retail experience. So as the population ages, as the demographics shift, as the technology advances, what are you doing to create your own personalized experience with aging? And what can we do together in order to create better experiences for the population around us and for each other as we all age? Thank you.